Morning, ladies and gentlemen. We will call this meeting of the Board of License Commissioners of Carroll County, Maryland to order. As has been customary for many years, we begin our meetings with the pledge to the flag and observe a moment of silence in memory of those who have gone before us and made our country as great as it is. It's strictly voluntary. With that, Mr. Barnhart.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All may be seated. Our first agenda item is hearings for those of you who have applied for the first time for a one-day liquor license. And we will begin with the first application is Eric Dean for Carroll Rebels. You will come to the center desk, pull that microphone in front of you, state your name and address, and spell your name for the record, please.
Hi, my name is Eric Dean. It's E-R-I-C. Last name is Dean, D-E-A-N-E. I live at 2314 Nevada Drive in Manchester, Maryland, 21102.
Mr. Dixon, do we need to swear these in?
No.
I don't think so. Can you tell us a little bit about what Carroll Rebels is, how old they are, who organized them, and where they're located?
So we're an independent travel baseball team. Right now my kids are 15 and 16 years old. I originally started coaching for Manchester baseball back when my son and his friends were in T-ball. We coached on that recreation side of Manchester baseball for, I think, 4 years. Did 2 years then on the travel side, which was the Manchester Blue Sox when the boys were 8U and 9U. After that, myself and one of the other coaches decided that we kind of wanted to do our own thing and take a different direction from what they were doing at Manchester. So we parted ways and created this independent single age group team at the 10U level. In doing so, we had to create an organization, a private, we founded a tax-exempt non-stock corporation because we needed to get banking, insurance, and so forth for the tournaments that we do. So that's what we did. So we've done it now, 10U through 14U. Now we're moving on to the 15U, and we do about 10 tournaments every year. It's very expensive for youth baseball. You'd be surprised, perhaps not, but our operating expenses, next year are probably going to be about $15,000. We're going to take some travel tournaments like most of our tournaments are within about an hour and a half, but like last year we did go to New York, and we also went to South Carolina for a tournament. So we get those funds through registration fees, but then also fundraisers. Through the years, we've done smaller fundraisers, and it's very difficult to get $100 here, $300 there. Somebody had the idea of on one of these coolers, and we hope that we can make a bigger dent all just at once and do when I say these coolers, the basket of cheer, I guess, is the term that the board uses, but we intend to get a Yeti cooler, fill it with some 10 bottles of booze, and raffle that off. We're going to raffle it off. Our intent is to do it on November 18th, which is the Saturday before Thanksgiving, and between now and then sell raffle tickets at $10 a piece. Hopefully get money to contribute toward those operating expenses that I alluded to, and then also we'd like to buy a pitching machine. Our boys are getting old now, and at 15 and 16 years old, us coaches can't throw enough to replicate what they're going to see in the game, so we'd like to use this to buy a pitching machine as well.
Is there an event associated with this?
No, so everybody is going to be selling tickets between now and the 18th, and my intent is just at my house on the 18th, I was going to have some of the members of the team, just more than anything as witnesses, but I'm not bringing anybody in from the outside. We'll just do that raffle on that day of the 18th with some team members to just kind of hang out and spend some time together, build camaraderie, but then also so everybody can see that the raffle is done on the up and up.
Okay.
The drawing, rather, I should say.
Mr. Mulwini, you have any questions?
I do not.
How much do you expect to raise from this event?
Well, I got 1,000 tickets, so if we were to sell all of them, I don't know if that's realistic, frankly. My hope is to raise at least $5,000 towards the operating expenses. If we're able to sell anything beyond that, it would go towards the pitching machines, which a good pitching machine is in the neighborhood of $2,500 to $3,000 for the one that we want. So obviously, 1,000 tickets times 10 is 10,000 max. Frankly, I'm not sure that that's attainable in the next month, but that's what we purchased. If we sell less than $5,000 worth, I would be disappointed. Anything beyond that is going to be bonus.
You mentioned that this is going to be, you're going to fill a cooler. Are you purchasing that, or are you getting donations?
I was intending to purchase it and use the money raised towards it. So I guess the $10,000 would be the maximum that we bring in. I was going to purchase the cooler, one of those Yeti coolers, which is roughly $450 to $500, and then about $500. I figured 10 bottles at $50 a piece. So that money to buy it would come out of the ticket sales, the proceeds.
You must be buying bottles of wine, $50 a piece.
Well, that's round numbers, back at napkin math there. So that's my estimate.
Any other questions? Any objections to the issuance of the permit?
No objection.
No objections? Congratulations. We hope you are very successful.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it, everyone.
Our next scheduled is Jennifer Littall for Friends of Cascade Lake to hold a pickleball tournament.
We are here for Jen. I'm on the board of Friends of Cascade, but
Just state your name and address for the record and spell your last name.
it's Jessica Danettel. It's DANNETTEL.
And you're a new organization?
No, we have actually had temporary liquor license last year because we do Cascade Lights, and we use that for Cascade Lights. We are newer, so these are the types of things that we're using income from to get together our website and marketing materials to try and get our name out there so that people actually understand what our organization is and what we're trying to do.
And how long have you had this organization?
For a little over a year now.
And what's your primary goals?
So we're doing environmental restoration. So we actually have a grant from the state, and we are in the process of doing environmental restoration in the area that used to be Cascade Lake, since it's not really feasible to build the lake again. And we are trying to use it as a community place where people from the community can come and use it, do hiking, mountain biking, while trying to preserve the natural habitat and environment of the area. So taking that, area of land, which is like 23 acres, and actually that's just been sitting there doing nothing for all these years since the old owners left, and actually doing something for the community with it, since, it's such a landmark that people still think of.
And
What restoration projects have you been engaged in lately with Cascade Lake?
It's really slow. Really, right now, we're meeting with a company that is coming out to survey and assess the land. I mean, that's really the beginning stages of where we are. So there is like a whole footprint of what it would be with like some rivers and things like that, but essentially the area we're in is just having these companies, and they have to be approved by the state since the government funds go directly to them to pay for all this. So they're like surveying the land, seeing what natural like plants are there, what issues are there, and trying to get them to assess the property right now. And that's really the beginning stages of where we are. And even though there is a tentative plan that they have moving forward, the information that they gather and the data that they gather from that really will determine how it moves after that.
So the last time you were here, what restoration has taken place until now?
None.
Okay.
Yeah, they can't do anything until they complete their survey of the property. I mean, we've met with them a few times since then. We do have someone, her name is Kylie, she's kind of on staff now, that oversees it. So we were able to do a little bit of a nature camp over there over the summer to help raise funds as well, where they're actually, she is, she has a background in environmentalist, and she actually worked for one of our facilities in Annapolis, and just so happens that this is what she wants to do for a living. So we're actually bringing her on board to help facilitate everything, because we're not in the know with all of that exactly. We know the property, but we don't know the ins and outs of the process. So she's actually helping to maneuver that. And then also, since that time, we now have a marketing team on board, Julie Goucher, and she is doing the website for us and actually getting together packets so we can seek out people that want to be involved. It's really hard to kind of tell people to get on board and to help with a project until you can have materials where they can actually see what's going on.
So funds have been raised in the past.
Yeah, the only thing that we've really had dedicated to it is the Cascade Lights, which we use the alcohol sales from that. And then the summer camp that we did in the summer, we have funds from that were donated, since they used that area of the property for the camp, like areas of the camp to go down and look at the trees and the leaves and the bugs and everything else. And so we've used those funds, have been dedicated to that.
All right, so Friends of Cascade Lake has a bank account with money
Yes.
for fundraisers that will be used in the future.
Uh-huh.
And I see on your website that the event that you're here today for, the proceeds go toward Carol, what's the river through Frederick? Carol, you're going to restore Carol River? Is it Carol Creek?
Carroll Creek.
Carol Creek. So you're advertising this event as a restoration of Carol Creek, is that right?
No, it shouldn't be.
I think on the website, that's what it says, but,
So the alcohol sales go towards Friends of Cascade.
but this pickleball event on the website mentioned proceeds go to restoration of Carol Creek.
Perhaps. So the Copper Union is hosting the event.
Who?
Copper Union, it's like a division of Coppermine.
Of Coppermine.
Yes.
So this is intertwined with Coppermine.
Yeah, so Coppermine is the location of the event. Because
Who
it's
owns
got to be on the pickleball
Who owns
courts.
the property?
Alex Jacobs.
Who?
Alex Jacobs.
And who is Alex Jacobs?
He's the owner of Coppermine. He owns Four Seasons. He owns the Coppermine properties.
So your entity, just like the lights at Cascade Lake, so the lights at Cascade Lake, that was for them. Your entity with the alcohol sales was what went towards.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so the Cascade Lights is for like, is a Copper Mine event.
Right, so that's,
We just did the alcohol sales, and 100% of those proceeds went
Right, I
towards
remember that
Friends
from
of
that
Cascade.
hearing.
Yeah, it's like,
So
it's
this
one
is-
event. We just come in, the event is not a charity event.
Right.
It's just an event. We take that portion of the event and use it to raise
and
money.
this is the exact same thing this time. is that
Yeah, it's
an
just, yeah, we're
event
not running the
separate from-
event,
You're just
yeah.
the alcohol sales.
Yeah, we just
is
want to
what's
do the
raising your-
alcohol sales to help. I mean, it helps their event because it makes it more festive atmosphere with the food trucks and alcohol, so it makes that event better. But we want to be able to raise funds for what we're trying to do with our Friends of Cascade, since we're really limited in what we can do to raise funds right now. So we're trying to seize on any opportunity we can to be able to, you know, get the funds to start really getting our name out there.
You mentioned a marketing director and some other director and so forth. Are they paid?
So the marketing firm that we're paying is paid out by Friends of Cascade. That we just hired them to build a website for us, because I can't. So we have a website that's now dedicated to Friends of Cascade so that people can actually be directed and understand the project and what's going on there. So we have the whole map and outline of that. It's just got to be tweaked a little bit so that we can go live with that. And then the other thing that the marketing company is doing is getting collateral for us. So we want to have packets that we can hand out to people that are potentially interested in being involved with the project. Like if they want to be board members or be on committees and things like that, because we want to have different things. So we need materials to hand out to them so that they know what we're about. I don't think, not a lot of people know what we're about because we don't have anything out there yet.
The Copper Union
Mm-hmm.
is an outfit that you're cooperating with,
Yes.
okay?
Mm-hmm.
And they're overseeing the pickleball event.
Yeah, so they're doing the tournament
So
itself.
this is kind of a symbiotic relationship between Friends of Cascade Lake
Sure.
and the event.
Yeah, we're just
And-
guests at the event, sort of.
And the event, is the event selling alcohol? Or?
No,
Okay.
this would be the only alcohol sales. And 100% of the proceeds would just go to
Okay, I
Friends of
understand.
Cascade. It's, yeah, separate. There are other things there, like food trucks and stuff like that, but they're not selling alcohol.
And this is in a controlled area? I haven't seen.
Yes, there'll be somebody there IDing and giving wristbands for those of age. And then it will also be like a beer garden kind of fenced-in area that's sectioned off from the rest of the property so that, because there are things going on there, so we want to make sure that this area is just sectioned off for the people that are involved in the event.
So this is technically, it's not at Cascade, it's at Four Seasons?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Which I think should be on the paper, is that correct? Yeah, okay.
Total different location.
Yeah, and I think that's what this is, because we have done events before where we have gotten a license, but this is a different location from where we did it prior, which we would like to do again this year, coming up, the lights again.
Do you have a full bar or a limited bar, or what all
It's
these
just
sell?
going to be seltzers, beer, wine. It's not going to be the whole setup, very light.
So my confusion was, this event, this pickleball
Uh-huh.
event, the website says the proceeds are going to the restoration of Carroll Creek.
Gotcha,
which
so
is- which
that's
is
the
not Lakes-
Copper Union proceeds, yeah.
Yes, but somehow you're intertwined with them.
Yeah,
But-
because,
But you're separating the alcohol sales
Yes.
for your charity.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not included in your ticket or anything like that. So your ticket, or your entry fee, I guess, for the tournament is completely separate.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Again, just like we approved last year for the Cascade
Yeah,
Lights. At a
completely
different
separate.
location.
Yes, so yeah, like at Cascade Lights, your entry fee to the lights is separate. When the alcohol sales purchased were completely separate, so the funds don't intermingle at all. which makes it a lot easier.
So this is a 2-day event?
There's 2 days of it. There's the like kind of meet and greet and mingle on one day, and then the actual like tournament play on the other day.
So you're having alcohol for 2 days?
I believe so.
So we need 2 one-day license.
One form with 2 dates on it. One form has
Yeah,
2
but
dates on it, yeah.
2-day license. Any other questions? Comments? Any objection?
No objection.
Congratulations, good luck.
Thank you.
Jessica, our next schedule is from Jessica Mitko of Meals on Wheels for a Crab Cake Festival at the Farm Museum.
Hello, everyone. My name is Donna Jean Rumbly. Jessica is very sick today. She was going to join me. So I just wanted to let you know, my name is Donna Jean Rumbly, Rumbley. I work at 100.7 The Bay radio station. The address is 11350 McCormick Road, and that's in Hunt Valley, Maryland, 21031. We can get Jessica on the phone, but pretty much I'm organizing the event for Meals on Wheels, so I probably can answer most of your questions.
This will be Meals on Wheels of Carroll County.
Correct.
Excuse me, at the Farm Museum on October the 28th.
Correct. I can tell you a little bit about the event if you'd like.
Yes, ma'am.
Great. It's the inaugural Maryland Crab Cake Festival. For years, the radio station, we've been trying to do an event, and we love Carroll County so much with the Farm Museum and the wine festival we participate in every year, Summerfest. Just thought it would be a great setting for this first festival, which includes some of the best crab cake restaurants in all of Maryland. We have 10 of them. About 80 artisan vendors, food trucks, and as well as 2 wineries, 2 craft beer breweries, a distillery, an Orange Crush, and Mother's, which is a restaurant bar that will serve like Coors Light, drinks like that in their tent. The event, we're going to give partial proceeds to Meals on Wheels. It's a great charity. I actually work for them in Baltimore County. And we're going to give partial proceeds to help them, with their business, as well as the radio station. We're involved with Channel 13 WJZ-TV. We've been promoting this for about 6 months. We'll be broadcasting live from there. I'll be living in Westminster like I have been, but I'll be living there that week. And we have a kids zone too. Other activities include music. We have bands, the Reagan Years, Amish Outlaws, to help provide the music. And just a fun day, 11 to 4, 5 hours, one day.
I assume there's a fee for entrance.
$25, yes.
What's that get you?
It gets you live music from 3 of the bands and all the best crab cakes in one spot, as well as free giveaways we'll be giving away, and the chance to participate in a fun event. And the crab cakes will be sold at a festival-style crab cake, so not like a $35 crab cake. All the vendors are going to do about a 4-ounce crab cake, selling about $12, so people can sample all the restaurants if they want to, but they have to pay for the crab cakes. Some things will be included. We're working on giving free water, things like that, with one of your Atlantic Blue water sponsors. So we're trying to, give some added value for the $25. But I've been doing events for 40 years of my life and festivals, and I think $25 nowadays is a good price.
How many people do you expect?
We sold almost 2,500 tickets as of yesterday. Expect about 3,000 to 4,000 if the weather's nice. Fingers crossed. With the weather lately, you never know, but expecting about 4,000 to 4,500 people.
You mentioned partial proceeds go to Meals on Wheels.
Correct.
What about the other partial?
Paying the bands, paying the stage manager, stage, all the production, everything that goes into putting on this festival.
Some of the bands that you mentioned aren't cheap.
You got that right. It's interesting how the prices have gone up through the years, but you get what you pay for, and I feel like having these bands will bring in more people to the event. And they're
Can you
great.
just, I'm sorry.
Can you just summarize for us the efforts that will be made to ensure no underage service?
I just bought 5,000 of these orange wristbands. I was hoping the Orioles would have made it yet last night, but we've got orange for anyone that is over 21. I know vertical IDs. I have some of the same people that have been working the Wine Fest and Summerfest, the volunteers that will be doing the IDing and the wristbands. So I feel confident that we're going to do a great job, because they're some of the best from past festivals that you've held here. And we'll have, of course, your finest Sheriff's Department as security. They're going to be on hand with their staff throughout the day to ensure that hopefully no problems will happen. I do have an updated map, because I think when I submitted everything, I didn't have the finalized map, so I can give that to you as well. I tried to put the alcohol in your water and the bathrooms in a good, easy spot.
How many locations will you be able to purchase alcohol at the museum?
Let's see, we have 2 wineries, 2 breweries, Mother's, Backyard, and Fordham Distillery, which is a distillery.
So that's like 6,
Yes, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
7?
So you'll be in control of the wristbands. They won't be able to go to these individual vendors.
No, they won't even be able to go into the venue unless they are ID'd and given this orange wristband. We're making sure of that at both entrances.
Is it only a 21 and over event?
No, it's all ages.
Okay, got that, okay.
Yeah, we do have a kids zone, but I'll be IDing everyone to make sure they don't get a wristband unless they're 21 or over.
I'm through with it, yeah. Are you paying for the sound system as well?
Yes. Hartford Sound.
Hartford Sound?
I think the same folks that they use for Summerfest.
And what are the hours?
11 a.m. till 4 p.m.
Right.
I think there's a 4 p.m. curfew.
How many entrances will there be?
I have a vendor entrance, I have the main entrance, and then we have the top gate, I think that's near the Ag Center. So that will be 3 entrances, 1 only for vendors and performers, and then 2 for guests.
Would you like to submit your updated?
Yes,
map
ma'am.
to them?
Thank you.
There.
Oh, just give it to you. Do you want copies for I have copies for everyone.
I just need one.
Actually, okay, I circled where the breweries are. I circled the places in question.
Okay. And I'm sorry, I missed it. How many tickets have you sold so far?
Almost 2,500. It was like 2,470 yesterday.
So you feel good about that number?
I'm feeling good.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially for the first event.
Right.
Jimmy's Seafood?
Excuse me?
Jimmy's?
Oh, yes. Jimmy's, Coco's, Papa's, Conrad's, from this area, Greenmount, E.W. Beck's, Maggie's. So we tried to get definitely local Carroll County restaurants as well as other parts of the state.
Rock salt involved?
No, not rock
Telly's
salt.
involved?
I didn't get rock salt this time. We kept it to about 10, but maybe next year. Tell them to call me if we can get through
No,
this one.
I'm not advocating, I'm just asking.
Okay.
Any other, excuse me, any other questions or comments? Any objections?
No objection.
Congratulations, best wishes.
Thank you.
Apologize, all of a sudden I can't talk, which is good.
You're thinking of those crab cakes. Hope I can see you all there. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, thank you.
Thank you and good luck. Our next one-day liquor license, on behalf of Petra Justin for the Czech and Slovak Heritage Association of Maryland for a festival October 29th at Sykesville Freedom District Fire Hall. Good morning. Sit down and make yourself at home. State your name and address and spell your last name, please, for the record.
The name is Peter Justin, last name spelled Justin. Address 9528 Hickory Hills Drive, Nottingham, Maryland, zip code 21236. I'm here for the Czech and Slovak Heritage Association of
Can you
Maryland.
pull that microphone a little bit closer to you, please?
Can you hear me now? Yeah.
Yeah, talk a little.
Okay, so I'm here for the Czech and Slovak Heritage Association of Maryland. Our association was founded in 1994, and we organize descendants, friends and families, and friends of small countries in the heart of Europe, Czech Republic and Slovakia. We organize them at small events. We run small language classes, both in Czech and Slovak languages for adults and children, and organizing events with the upcoming festival being our main annual event. This would be our 35th annual festival, first time in Carroll County, welcoming around 350 guests. Mostly our members of our association, and some special guests, including representatives of Czech and Slovak embassies from Washington, D.C.
Is it open to the public?
I'm sorry?
Is it open to the public?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Is this your first event like this, or this is?
This is our 35th annual festival. In last 37 years, the 2 COVID years excluding.
And you move it around to various places in the state, or what?
Depending on the availability of halls or venues suitable for our needs, we've found the Legacy Hall in Sykesville to be very welcoming, and it's run by nonprofit and very friendly to our nonprofit and to our needs. Previously, we held it at mostly Baltimore County venues. As our association doesn't have any seats, any properties, we rent the indoor places, indoor venues to host the festival.
Where have you had it previously in Baltimore County?
American Legion in Towson, and Cedar Hall in Potty Hill, as far as I remember.
Tall
Those were
Cedars?
Tall Cedars. Sorry, Tall Cedars, yeah.
How many people do you normally have?
Usually around 300, 350 people usually come, plus usually 60, 70 kids. Plus performers, those would be a small gymnasts and dancers from various groups in DC and Baltimore area. We have a live music band, folk band from New York. It's a Slovak band singing in Slovak language, and those would be the performers.
Tell us about the alcohol sales that you wish to go with.
So the hall has a special room for the over-counter serving the alcohol, and we have a designated 2 gentlemen who would be selling the alcohol over-counter from that room, and checking IDs of all guests purchasing.
Will they be using wristbands or anything of that nature? No?
No, sir. Just over the counter serving alcohol and checking IDs individually. It's the selling the alcohol, serving the alcohol is in a special fashion because we'll be serving typical Czech and Slovak beer. So it's in a form of presentation where those 2 gentlemen will be telling good stories along with selling the alcohol, the beer and liquor and wine.
Is food available as well?
Yes, it is.
So, will the I know where the food is dispensed in that room.
Yeah.
Will there be a separate location for the beer?
There'll be 3 rooms, separate rooms, one for alcohol, then across the hall, it's all on one side of the legacy hall. One would be for hot dogs, and the biggest room, again, over the counter, would be for special meals, hot meals.
Okay.
Other questions?
I can submit the poster for a festival if
That would be good.
needed.
If there are no questions, are there any objections?
No.
Congratulations, sir, and best wishes. We hope you have a very successful event.
Thank you, everyone.
Next is a one-day liquor license from Cortland Thomas of White Rock IME Church for a crab feast on October 28th. Gentlemen, welcome. Have a seat. Please pull those microphones in front of you. State your names and address, please, for the record. Spell your last names.
My name is, what was that? I'm sorry, what was last?
Spell your last name.
My name is Cortland Thomas, Thomas.
My name is Gary Hudson, Hudson.
You want to tell us a little bit about what you want to have down there? A crab feast?
Yes.
Yeah, basically, White Rock Church is kind of a staple in the community as far as barbecues is concerned. We do that like 26 weeks out of the year, every other week. And we pretty much count on fundraisers and our members' ties to keep the church going. And so what we like to do every year, we have this crab feast to help us with, the bills and everything else that we may incur during the course of a year. So it's been a big event that we've had for probably 30-plus years. And we kind of, like I say, we kind of count on the revenue from it to help us.
Have you served alcohol in the past?
Yes. Typically, we get in bed, if you would, with someone that already has a liquor license.
Right.
Okay, and we've been doing that, but since the pandemic, things have changed a little bit. We used to do it at the firehouse right there in Sykesville, but after the building burned down and they rebuilt it, then of course the fees went up. And then we moved to the American Legion, and we were pretty good with them, but all of a sudden they changed management and things have changed. I don't really want to get into that, but things have changed now, and we can't seem to get that building anymore. So this year we had to work on short notice and see what we could find, and we ended up, finding the
Sonic Lodge?
Lodge, yeah.
Yeah. Your church is on White Rock Road?
Yes.
Okay. Yes.
That's where you're going to have it, at the church?
No, we're gonna have it at the Lodge, Freedom Lodge.
Oh, Freedom Lodge?
Yeah, 112 Liberty Road.
Yeah. How many people do you think will attend?
Well, right now, typically in the past with the bigger buildings, we've had over 100 plus, but we're trying to limit this to about 70 people.
Yeah. So, what kind of alcoholic beverage?
Just
Just
beer.
beer.
Just a beer.
Yes.
And can you just briefly describe what you would do to ensure that there's no underage sales?
Well, basically, we have elders in the church that kind of monitor that, or will be monitoring that this year. We didn't have to worry about it in the past because the facility would take care of that. But this year, we will have an elder, and we're going to have a keg, a couple of kegs or whatever, and we'll have an elder there making sure that there is no underage drinking going on.
And it's likely you'll know just about everybody there, you think?
Yes, yes. Mhm.
Any other questions?
No.
Sounds like a good crab feast.
Sounds like it.
No other questions, comments? Any objections?
No.
Gentlemen, good luck.
Thank
sir.
you.
We hope you have a full house.
Thank you.
Sir. Well, if you come, we'll have a full house.
Okay.
Okay.
28th is going to be Crab Day in Carroll County. We're going to have the Farm Museum and the Masonic Lodge in Eldersburg. Okay, at this time, Mr. Dixon, would you call our case 6475, please?
Okay, case 6475, in the matter of a Class BC beer, wine, and liquor license with catering issued to David Scranton and Jay Lorenzo for the use of Lorenzio Restaurants, Inc., trading as Lorenzio's Brick Oven Cafe, 114 South Main Street, Mount Airy, Maryland, 21771, violation hearing. Violation of rules and regulations of the Board of License Commissioners, Rule 22, 26, and 35. In the file of this matter, we have the following documents. Notice of hearings, publicly advertised September 29th, 2023. Notice of hearing, publicly advertised September 22nd, 2023. The letter was delivered by hand on September 14th, 2023. And then there is the violation sheet. Violations of the rules and regulations of the Board of License Commissioners. 3 violations: hours of operations. All licensed establishments must display their hours of operation, and if a Class B, BC, or BR license, the hours. Full course meals are served on a permanent sign located near the main entrance and visible to the public. Rule 26, licensee responsible. For purposes of the rules and regulations, if a licensee is required to take some action or is prohibited from taking some action, the licensee shall be accountable for the acts of any employee or agent of the licensee as if the licensee had acted or failed to act. Rule 35, cooperation. Licensees shall cooperate with representatives of all governmental agencies when those representatives are acting in their official capacities. On Friday, July 14, 2023, at 11 a.m., at approximately 12:35 p.m., I completed an inspection of Lorenzio Brick Oven Cafe. During that inspection, I found 1 violation: failure to post their hours of operation. I, being James Pullen, spoke with James Acuna. He told me that he goes by Grant Acuna, general manager. He stated that the hours of operation had been painted onto the door, but these had been done incorrectly and were removed. I pointed out the violation directly from the Rules and Regulations Handbook to him, and he told me that he would get it sorted out as soon as possible. I told him that although I saw no other violations, that I was issuing an advisory to get the hours posted, and I would return to check that this had been rectified. On Monday, August 8th, 2023, at approximately 5 p.m., I had reason to be in Mount Airy to teach a class that was attended by 6 employees of Lorenzio Brick Oven Cafe, including Mr. Acuna, general manager. These employees failed to pay for the class at the time, stating they would get an official check cut for $300, 6 times $50 per person, and sent to the liquor board office. Whilst driving past Lorenzio's Brick Oven Cafe after the class, I saw that there still was no signage displaying hours of operation at that entrance to the establishment. On the morning of Friday, September 8th, 2023, Mr. Keith Benfer had occasion to talk to Mr. J. Lorenzio's owner and co-licensee of Lorenzo Brick Oven Cafe in regard to the outstanding $300 for the class which had not been received at the liquor board office. Mr. Lorenzio told Mr. Benfer that he would have a check sent out immediately and explained again about the painters incorrectly placing the hours on the establishment's door. Mr. Benfer told Mr. Lorenzio that a temporary sign generated in Microsoft Word or similar word processing software would be sufficient to solve this violation until a more permanent sign was created. On Monday, September 11th, 2023, at approximately 10:55 a.m., James Pullen, went to Lorenzio's Brick Oven Cafe, which was closed. I looked closely at the front of the business and saw that there was no signage, either permanent or temporary, indicating hours of business as had been requested on both occasions. As of 1 p.m. on Monday, September 11, 2023, the check for the class had still not been received at the Liquor Board office. I would ask that the file be entered into evidence.
We'll accept that in evidence. At this time, I would ask all those who intend to testify, please stand, raise your right hand, and be sworn in.
Do you swear or affirm under the penalties of perjury that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Inspector Pullen, you are the inspector that was doing a routine inspection when this event began?
That's correct. Inspector James Pullen, Carroll County Board of License Commissioners, 225 North Center Street, Westminster, Maryland, Carroll County, Maryland. Yes, sir. I was doing a routine inspection of the establishment, the Lorenzo Brick Fire Cafe, when I noticed the initial violation of the regulation, the business hours not being prominently displayed at the front of the building.
Could you just walk us through basically what we were just apprised of by our attorney?
That's my statement of facts is what Mr. Dixon stated into the record, and after I noticed the hours hadn't been posted and had concluded my inspection of the building, I advised the general manager, Mr. Grant Acuna, of the infraction, and he said he would sort it out immediately. I actually had the red rules and regulations book to hand, and I indicated it directly to him from the book.
And then what transpired later?
After that, he said he would get that rectified as soon as possible, and further on, the following month, myself and Mr. Benfer carried out a alcohol management training class in Mount Airy, and upon passing the restaurant, I noticed at that time that the hours had not been posted temporarily or in regular fashion. So I made a note of that.
In your original request, how much time expired between your original request and you checked?
The original inspection was on the 14th of July 2023, and we carried out our class on the 8th of August 2023, so approximately 25 days or thereabouts.
Okay, and what was the next step?
The next step was the following month, Mr. Benfer contacted Mr. Lorenzo about the matter of the check, which hadn't been submitted for the training, which we carried out, and Mr. Lorenzo said he apologized basically for the check matter, and Mr. Benfer pointed out the hours matter, and he said he would rectify that as soon as possible by putting a temporary sign up in the window. On the following Monday to the conversation between Mr. Benfer and Mr. Lorenzo, I was in Mount Airy doing inspections at other establishments, and I had reason to stop to see if the temporary sign had been posted, and no temporary sign had been posted at the time of the inspection on the morning of the 11th of September 2023.
Okay, so give me the first date that you were there,
14th of July 2023.
and you gave them or suggested how much time did they have to post them?
I usually say because this isn't the first establishment which has happened, I usually give them maybe two weeks.
So,
I believe that's a reasonable length of time to have a permanent
so
sign.
you, what's the date you were there? First?
14th of July 2023 initially.
And you went back, what date?
On the 8th of August and on the 11th of September when I was finally there and nothing had been sorted out.
Okay, so you were there technically 3 times,
Correct.
and the third time, still no hours were posted.
Correct.
Consequently, to that date, have you returned?
I have not been back to Mount Airy due to number of matters, but Mr. Benfer has received confirmation that the sign has now, containing the regular business hours, has now been posted.
Okay, now, let's move to Inspector Benfer. Your first contact with the establishment was, in regards to this, was what, when?
With Inspector Keith Benford, Board of License Commissioners, on morning of Friday, September 8th. I spoke to Mr. Lorenzo by phone.
What did that conversation entail?
Advised him that we still have not received the check for the training that we gave his employees, and also advised him about posting his hours on his business.
What's the next step?
Mr. Poulin, Inspector Poulin, wrote up a violation notice, and Joe Vance completed the paperwork for that violation. I served the paperwork on September 14th to Grant Acuno, and I observed the hours were posted on the business on September 14th.
Okay.
We, on Monday, September 11th, when did we get the check?
Check on the 22nd.
On the 22nd of September is when we received the payment for the class that we taught.
Okay, so from the time the initial inspection was made until the hours were posted, how many days?
July 14th to September 14th, so 3 months.
And subsequent to that, have either of you had occasion to visit the establishment since then?
Since September 14th, we have not been down to the establishment.
Okay. Questions of the inspectors at this time?
So the question I would have, well, I'd have several questions, but one would be, was this licensee violated for failure to promptly pay you a check? And what would be the rule violation?
The rule violation was failure to
Cooperate?
operate.
Okay.
They agreed to take the class, they agreed to pay the $50. They're supposed to pay the day of the class, but we give them leeway if they don't have the money. Usually, when people don't have the money, I get the next day or two. It took almost 2 months to get the check.
Okay, so we have several different problems here and several different rule violations. I'm trying to narrow it down. The Rule 35 is related solely to the late payment of the check.
And also, the not being advised to post the hours and they didn't post the hours.
Okay, so violation of Rule 35 contains several elements. That's your testimony? Okay. And Rule 26, explain to us why that's a violation in this case.
Because they're responsible to take action. If we advise them, they didn't take the action we advised them to take.
In connection with the check and with the signage?
Correct.
Okay, so both those violations are also bifurcated in that sense that you're...
Yes.
Okay, I understand. All right. Check has been paid,
Correct.
and the hours have been posted.
Correct.
And Mr. Poland, you have testified under oath that the facts, recitation of facts by our counsel is true and correct to the best of your knowledge and belief.
That is correct. The council read verbatim my statement of facts on the charge sheet.
Right, okay. So we can incorporate your statement of facts into the evidence.
Correct, if you're satisfied with that.
You have any questions?
So when you told the first person you encountered that the hours needed to be posted, what was their response?
I spoke to Mr. Acuna, who's the general manager, and after indicating it's directly from the rules and regulations book, I told him he needed to get it sorted out because he didn't need to get violated for such a easily fixed problem, and he said he would sort it out immediately.
Have you ever received an explanation of why it was not sorted out immediately from anybody?
I did, when I served the paperwork, he said the sign they had up was, every time the door opened, it blew off the door. Well, he didn't advise when it was posted, but this is back 3 months later, and I advised him it doesn't have to be on the door, it could be in the window, and more than 3 things of blue tape to hold the sign up.
Right, so the licensee did tell you that he had posted it, but the weather took it down.
Correct.
And that...
Not the licensee, the manager.
Manager?
Yes.
Oh. So you've testified there are 3 dates of a violation with regard to the posting, but you received information from the manager that it had been posted and was removed by when?
Yes.
During, in between those 3 dates?
Yes.
Okay.
There are no further questions of the inspectors at this time. We're going to move on.
No, I have no further questions.
Oh, no further questions.
Mr. Lorenzo, I take it?
Yes, sir.
Please state your name, full name, and address for the record, please.
Jay Lorienzo Restaurants Incorporated, 114 South Main Street, Mount Airy, Maryland.
Can you tell us what happened?
Yes, first I wanted to say it's embarrassing for something as simple as posting some updated hours. It was taken care of right away, and many times we've not got the official final embossed letters posted on the window yet. But we prop the door open, the rain, they take it down. My manager printed several more. They should have been laminated, they weren't. They Windex the glass. The hostesses rip the paper, they pull it down, along with 1,000 other things we do each day to try to serve our guests and serve responsibly and take care of business in a difficult environment. This is something that got past me, and I take full responsibility for it. My management team is a great team, they're family. I have a lot of priorities for them. This was one of them. I made it my priority as much as possible for them to understand, and they did. I promise you, moving forward, things are changing in that sense, and we do the best we can each day to try to take care of business. We've been super busy, no excuses, but we run around a lot, and we had some other things going down where I missed the payment, unacceptable, and no reason for it. busy in the family, busy in life, busy in the business, busy with grandkids, everything else, and it just slipped past me and my wife as we write checks each week. So we've got it all up to date and finalized. We got our staff certified. I'm, at least want to say I'm happy for the reason I'm here and not for some other violations of over-serving or underage serving or anything like that. We've got that in pretty good order. So I want to apologize for it. Moving forward, it'll be in compliance 1,000%, and thank you for your understanding.
Thank you. Commissioners, you have any questions?
So you say the writing of the check slipped your mind, but I see several emails here that are reminding you of such through August, September, and, you know, your responses were, I'll do it today.
Yeah.
I'll do it today, but that still just kind of slipped your mind.
We miss it. I get a lot of emails. We were balancing a lot. Finance is difficult, trying to sort it all out, and we were out of town with some family issues and things that just, I missed it. And then I brought it down in person, decided to get it here as quick as possible and dropped it off once I was able to.
And when was that?
I guess that day that I was
22nd?
22nd of September?
And I brought it down in person and dropped it off here and then called Joe.
But for example, like on the 25th of August, your response is, I'll put it in the mail today.
Yeah, and I missed it. That I apologize for.
So you testified that you've been busy, which I believe is probably true. Is business good?
Business is good. Yeah, it's been a long road since COVID, along with everything else, and you know, rebuilding, losing 50 to 60% of our business and staff, and trying to rebuild. We're finally back up, and that's an adjustment as well, handling the volume in the business. Short-staffed and you know, a little more chaotic than we'd like, but we're adjusting to what is a good problem now.
You have other establishments other than this one?
I do. We opened up our Clarksburg, Hydestown location about 11 years ago. Yeah. And we've been...
I'm sorry. Good.
Well, we've been on Main Street since 2005. I applied for my first liquor license here. Yeah.
So you testified that it was, okay, we put it in, the rained it off, we put it up, the waitress took it off. Did anyone explain to them the consequences, that if that wasn't posted, like a little communication to say, hey, you know, we're gonna get violated if you don't leave that piece of paper up there?
Yeah, the management team was fully aware of that, and we try to pass that down along with everything else to the importance of everything. You like to think that these teenagers, you know, understand something like that, but we take responsibility for that.
But if the management team knew, wouldn't you think the management team, like the end of every day, would be, okay, our hours are up, make sure they're there for tomorrow?
Yes, I would certainly. That's always certainly my hope and my goal. And is it frustrating sometimes when you think it's as simple as that? Yes, it is. But we do the best we can, and we took this, unfortunately, and we'll back on track.
What are your hours?
We open 11:30 a.m. till 9 p.m.
7
And we're closed on Mondays.
Closed on Monday?
Yeah.
Sunday hours same?
Sundays are the same. Well, actually, no, we close at 8 o'clock on Sundays. Sorry.
Are you having staffing problems, or you're okay with that?
We're better now. Yep. We usually lose kids also to college and everything else at the end of summer, and so we've recovered there. We had a great Fall Fest last weekend. You know, we've been on Main Street now for so long. We've been involved in the community for so long. We've employed many hundreds of young people within the community. We meet their parents. We know their families. We hire their kids, and we're busier and staffed better. And we're still, we like to believe, a pillar in the community, and we hope to continue to be so for many years.
So your business is the Big brick oven pizza business right there on Main Street,
Yeah.
surrounded by several other.
Yeah, right next to Town Hall.
Okay.
Yep. Yep. That's us. Lorenzo wood-fired. Yeah.
I just wanted to point out, if I'm not mistaken, that's Mr. Scranton.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, Mr. Scranton's actually resident licensee, and he was asked to come along today in case you guys wanted to ask him anything.
Mr. Scranton, would you come forward up here and is he sworn in?
Good morning.
Did you take the oath?
No.
You stand, raise your right hand, be sworn in.
Do you swear or affirm under the penalties of perjury that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you.
Please state your full name and address and spell your last name for the record.
David Scranton, Scranton, Lorenzo Brick Oven Cafe, 114 South Main Street, Mount Airy.
And you are the licensee on the license,
With Mr. Lorenzo, yes.
right?
Were you made, I'm sorry, were you made aware of any point that this was all going on, that you could potentially be sitting in front of us for something as simple as having your hours posted?
I did not know it.
Do you have any daily involvement with the business?
Not on a daily capacity, no.
About weekly or monthly?
I meet with Mr. Lorenzo on a more of a quarterly basis.
Are you familiar with this booklet?
I am not.
Rules and Regulations, the Board of License Commissioners of Carroll County?
I have read it online, yes.
You understand, as a licensee, the licensee are those responsible for any violations, period.
Yes, sir.
How long have you been on the license?
About 11 or 12 years.
11 or 12 years?
roughly.
And how often do you frequent the restaurant?
I usually patronize it several times a month with family and
There been any other violations?
18 and 22,
Underage sales?
yes. Here they are right here. 3822, 1318.
You say, Mr. Lorenzo, you opened in 2005 in Mount Airy approximately, is that what you said?
Yeah, early 2006, we opened up the first location, and then we had the fire in 2007 and burned down and rebuilt where we are now on 114 South Main Street. And been there, I guess, 15 years in 15 years in January.
I've been trying to picture the front door, but I can't, so that's immaterial. If I understand what you're saying, that you had your hours taped or whatever on the front door?
Yes, just printed out on the computer. And I do, since COVID, you know, hours of operation were all over the place. And so we stopped, first of all, to save some money, what it takes for those guys, the sign guys, to come out and put these sticker things on and all that. And we did that for 15 years. That's the way it was. But once COVID hit and we were changing and we did close for lunch and no more dine-in and everything else, for a few years, we got in the habit of just keeping it simple and posting it, and it's changing. It might change next week based on, you know, whatever, back then, of course. And so we got to that, and we tried laminating some, but then when they were going to change again, and we, you know, save a few bucks by not having to laminate them, we just kind of stick them up there, a piece of paper, and our guests in the community were understanding that things might change based on staffing and sales trends and trying to rebuild since the pandemic. And then it was as simple as that. We stayed to that, and then we finally got them embossed, and they were incorrect. So I told the guy, scrape them off, and we'll go back to the sign for a while, and then you run around the rest of the 1,000 things we do each week, and certain things slip past you.
Any other questions, ladies and gentlemen?
Yep.
Hearing none, testimony will close, and if you'd like to make any make any closing statements or comments, now's the time to do it.
Yes, thank you. I just wanted to say once again, I know I've already stated that we continue to try to be, upstanding in the community, a place where we employ young people. We teach them the basic skills of life and communication and hard work and responsibility, and also try to teach them other things such as the importance of certain things like this even, and how to serve responsibly to these 21-year-olds. We're finally proud to have nearly everybody who even walks past alcohol to be certified. And my wife and my sons and my daughter and my son-in-law, and we're all involved in this together. We've been always, and we hope to continue to for many years to come, and we keep striving to try to do the right thing, understand regulation books and codes, and we've been licensed for so long. We've been through so much, and we're grateful for the opportunity to continue and the opportunity to have a successful business and thrive in the community. So I just want to thank you again.
Inspectors, do you have any?
Yes, sir. I'd like to make a motion to submit 3 documents and 1 photograph of the establishment, which I have shown Mr. Lorenzo prior to the case. And also, I'll introduce the past history of the establishment. We have the initial license was issued in 2006. A new resident agent was added in 2011. A violation of Rule 7 occurred in 2013. A violation, sale to minor, in 2015. Violation, sale to minor in 2018. And violation, sale to minor in 2022.
And Rule 7 is illegal conduct.
When was that?
2013.
The hearing date was January 4th, 2013.
For illegal conduct?
Illegal conduct.
What was the illegal conduct?
I do not know.
I'm sorry, I haven't. I'd have to think back on that one.
It'll be in there.
I don't recall at this time. I can certainly find out.
Oh, it's not your job to find out. It's our job to
Right.
present that evidence.
Sure.
Can you access files on your phone?
What was that?
Can you access files on your phone?
Because it's being a Laserfish. I don't have that. 10
No,
years ago?
just if you have the case number, you could look up the PDF document.
That'd be good to be able to do that.
Mm.
Talk to IT and get that done. Yeah, that'd be good.
It's the inspection report,
This is just the,
paperwork.
okay. Mr. Lorenzo, you mentioned your management team. You said they're family? Or like family?
Well, my son-in-law, it's his brother is the general manager. So yeah. I guess he's like family. His brother's my son-in-law.
I'm going to ask the inspector to, once again, can you run down the violations? I was looking at something else. Past violations, I'm sorry.
Yes. Past violations, hearing dates, 2013 for the violation of Rule 7, which is the illegal conduct, which is unknown currently. 2015, 2018, and 2022 for sale to minors.
Okay, on the 2015, it's not on our,
Right, it's past
It's
the
past falling
5-year.
off the-
They were fined $200. 2018, they were fined $300, suspended $100, and then,
It was $600, but 300 suspended.
okay, $600, 300 suspended. And then in 2022, they were fined $1,200.
the 2018 was 600 with 300 suspended?
Yes.
So this hearing is for a violation of Rules 22, 26, and 35.
Correct.
You've heard the testimony, commissioners, and responses.
Well, I'm going to accept the licensee's assertion that this was not intentional, because that makes sense, it wasn't intentional, yeah. As we have discussed previously, intent isn't a necessary element for us to find culpability.
Of course.
But it certainly will be an aggravating circumstance if it was intentional, but I don't think it is. There may be some mitigating circumstances here. There's some testimony that temporary signs were put up, blown down. That's not the greatest explanation for why our inspectors did not find the hours posted, but it's
Agreed.
It's an explanation. And I don't doubt it. Having a liquor license is a public accommodation, and part of accommodating the public is to let them know when you're open.
Sure.
And I'm sure that you're interested in having people come through the door, so
It's in our best interest, for sure.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
so, in the past, we actually don't get this violation a lot, but when we do, we have, I've been made aware of some prior cases where we assess fines for the violations. My feeling is, you do have 3 separate violations of Rule 22, even though you tried to be in compliance, but things kept getting in your way. And in the past, for each violation of Rule 22, we have assessed fines of $25 each. And my feeling is, and of course, I'd like to hear what everyone else on the commission says, but my feeling is that would be appropriate here. The failure to pay promptly, oversights do happen, and it seems like you are busy, but on the other hand, I think that is a technical violation of Rule 35. So I would separate out Rule 35 just in connection with your failure to pay promptly, because I think the other 3 violations of Rule 22 are rolled into that rule, so it's like a lesser included offense.
Certainly.
So, I feel that would be a separate violation, and of course, the Rule 26 would be a separate violation as well. And those are my thoughts on how to break this case down, and I'd be interested in hearing what the rest of the commissioners say.
I agree with everything Commissioner Barnhart has stated. Unfortunately, it was just a sequence of events that continued, unfortunately, again, for several months. Mr. Scranton, I would hope that in the future you will make it your mission to know when something like this happens so that you're not set up to be in front of us again.
I will.
That being said, I will defer back to Commissioner Barnhart.
If there are no other comments from the commission, Mr. Chairman, I'd be willing to make a motion at this time.
I'd just like to make a few comments before you make any motions. I find it unsatisfactory, for want of a better word, with the windows and the signage places that it could be placed. I can't comprehend a successful business with the area that signage can be placed. But you could go to Staples and spend $15 and have a suction cup with a sign on there that you can change every day. I just can't comprehend a business like this with the availability to post something that simple. Liquor license is a privilege that's issued. I just can't see with all, I don't buy the wind bit for a second. I don't buy that for a second. There's no reason to have that door open. Wind to blow it over, number one. And you talk about the rain's gonna come in the building. I just can't comprehend having a successful business like this, not having the hours of operation posted, even though they may change from one week to the next week. It's too many things that's available that are very inexpensive to do that. And if I were going there, I want to know if that place is open. I'm not sure today whether it's going to be open or whether it's not going to be open if there's no hours posted. And I think it's a lack of concern, maybe not so much on Mr. Lorenzo, but technically the buck stops with him, is on management.
Yes, sir.
I think it's a serious concern in my mind with no hours posted. But with that, you've heard my colleagues, so we need to come to a decision.
Understood. Thank you, sir.
I will say that you know, I don't like the reason that the check wasn't issued, but to me, that's not as important because that was more important to get those employees trained.
Yes, sir.
And those things can happen even though you sent email, I'll take care of it today. Somebody can interrupt you and you get busy and forget what you said or what you wrote 5 minutes ago. At least I would.
Amen.
But not everybody in here is as old as I am. Don't you laugh, Pullen.
I'm prepared to make a motion, Mr. Chairman.
I'm prepared to listen to it.
Well, my motion is going to try to further our efforts to be consistent with what we've done in the past. We're not bound by precedent necessarily, but we do look to it and try to stay in line with it. And in the recent past, as I mentioned earlier, we have fined licensees $25 per event when they don't have the hours posted. So there are at least 3 confirmed events here that have been testified to by our inspectors. So for the cumulative violations of Rule 22, which is hours of operation, which, as you heard from the chairman, are very important, I would move that you're found culpable and a fine of $75 be assessed, which is accumulation of 3 violations of that rule. With regard to the other two rules, I may be a little bit more concerned about the check than the chairman, although I do agree with the fact that you getting the training is a very good thing from our perspective. And
Yes, sir.
we're glad you did it. I just wish that that payment was made in timely fashion. But
Yes,
that
sir.
I do believe that is a violation of Rule 35, cooperation. And I would move that we assess a fine of $25 for that violation. And then for the violation of Rule 26, I move that there's an additional fine of $25. So I believe total fines in my motion are $75, $25, and $25, which I think is $125. That's
Yes,
my
sir.
motion, Mr. Chairman.
Is there a second to the motion?
I second that motion.
Motion's been properly made and seconded that we find the licensees culpable of violation of Rule 22 and assess a fine of $75, and culpable under Rules 26 and 35 and assess a fine of $25 each, for a total fine of $125. Is there any further discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. So ordered. Mr. Lorenzo, we find you culpable and assess a total fine of $125 as broken down in the motion.
sir.
Understand the motion and the hearing
Understood.
decision.
Absolutely.
You will have 30 days in which to satisfy the fine upon official notice of the action of this body.
Thank you very much.
Thank you all very much, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Continue on and good luck.
Appreciate it. Thank you very
Sell
much.
out every day.
Yes. That's the goal.
This time, we're going to take a 5-minute recess. Second session. Our 11:30 scheduled time. Mr. Dixon, would you like to read our 11:30 discussion?
Let's see, public hearing in the matter of proposed rule changes and legislation to require that there be an employee licensee on duty at all times that an establishment is open, who is certified in an approved alcohol awareness training class, and that at least one licensee of the establishment be similarly certified. The public hearing for this matter was held on September 13th, 2023, and the proposed legislation will be voted on at this hearing.
Okay, you all should have received a copy of the draft prepared by Mr. Dixon to be presented. Are there any questions this time? This is exactly the result of our decision at the public hearing.
There's no one outside, we checked, in the hallway.
The procedure for this, if approved today, will be forwarded to the county commissioners for their dissertation and approval, hopefully. And a meeting is scheduled November the 8th.
7th,
November the 7th
Tuesday, November
at
7th,
the South Carroll Senior Center
at 6:30.
at 6:30, at which time the delegation will be hosting requests from the county commissioners for proposed legislation. This is the draft as prepared by our attorney, and may I remind you that this will be forwarded. However, the official draft will be prepared by the legislative people that make
Drafter.
these drafts. If any changes are made on this today, which we all agreed on, we got to have another public hearing, and we don't have time to do it. Justification for the proposal is here. And as we discussed numerous times, this is the result of our study and discussion. Is there any further discussion or questions?
No.
I'm prepared to vote anytime the chairman brings it up.
If there are no objections or comments, all those in favor of approving the concept to change the legislation contained in this draft, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. So ordered. So this will be forwarded to the commissioners in the form of which our esteemed attorney, Mr. Dixon, also sent a copy previously of that form, correct?
Yes.
Does the commission appear before, do any of the board members appear before our county commissioners to discuss this before the Tuesday, November 7th meeting?
I'm sure that the commissioners, if they have any questions, several of them are aware of this proposal. And as recently as last night, it was discussed with two of them.
But in the past, we have been in front of the commissioners with this.
Yes, we tell you, Keith and I have been there with the legislation at,
No, for the county commissioners and
to the county commissioners, yeah. To answer any questions, which
a lot of times they don't have questions.
is cut and dried, just about. You know, they were aware of it, they are aware of it, and so on and so forth, so. And then, of course, the delegation, last year, one of our state senators asked a question of us when it was presented to the delegation on behalf of the commissioners. a new state senator, I might add. Some of us in Woolridge District are included with Chris West, who represents Baltimore County. 90% of his constituents are in Baltimore County, but some of us on the southeastern side, Hampstead and down, is in his district. Other than that, there are no questions. Last year.
Where did you say that November 7th meeting was being held?
South Carroll.
South Carroll Senior Center.
It's a formality that I've been before that group numerous times over the years, from the Planning Commission to this commission to the Rec Council or Recreation, Board of Recreation, and so on and so forth, and very seldom do they ever ask the question. They know it before it's there. But that's just my experience. Okay, if there's no other questions on that, we got some other business to take care of. That being approval of minutes from September 13th meeting of the board, which you all should have received and have a copy at the dais. Any corrections or additions?
Nope, nothing here.
Hearing none, they are approved as presented. Okay, then I guess we got to skip down on the thing. We have a request from County Line to have an outdoor seating area approved for alcohol service from Neil Troutman.
He's the licensee of the Caroline Cantina.
We got a diagram or something?
Yes. Should be out front. It's going to be in front of the building, closer to the roadway, but still far enough away. He wants to put cornhole boards up there and tables and just let people come out and eat. And
But we don't have a diagram?
Yeah, right here.
Oh, you got it. I'm sorry.
That's all right. There's a diagram, the request is the page before.
How close is that to a roadway?
50 feet, 70 feet,
Where's County Line?
down next to the 7-Eleven south of Hanover, south of the turn
Little
of.
house over there?
Yes.
You can't get 15 people in there.
Well, right, I mean, that's the reason they have a Class D, but he wants to add, they're actually going to host an alcohol awareness class.
I saw that. Where are you gonna have it, on the patio or something out back?
No, inside.
You can't get 15 people in there.
Only having 10, I think only 10 people have signed up.
Oh, okay.
So this is on the front porch?
Yes, front porch and then some of the grass area.
Jim, I think they got 2 hot dogs for $1 next door at 7-Eleven. In case you get ready for lunch.
So they're going to rope it off? Oh, temporarily.
Yeah, just to start, and then he's trying to drum up business.
So what's your opinion of his,
I think it's fine. I mean, it's going to be very, because it's going to come from, there'll be no outside entrance. It's going to come from inside the building, go through the front door.
want to read this? Look at this.
So there's no actual, like,
Pretty pictures.
there's no actual, like, construction right now? It's just kind of like setting up the porch, putting up a,
No, they're open.
say that again, sorry. No, they're not like building a structure of
No,
any
no,
kind.
no,
Yeah,
right. This is just temporary, they want to do it permanently, but the rope and fence is just temporary.
Yeah, that's where they're starting right now. So they don't need to
And
get any
then when it's
kind of-
springtime, yeah, this will be something more.
Right, they don't need any permits or anything to do anything they're doing now.
This is a new owner.
Yes, Eric Shalat.
He also has a liquor store in Hampstead.
I butchered it.
Any objections?
No.
Okay. Getting a lot of seafood today. Request from Seafood Legend Hot Pot and Barbecue to change their trade name to Legend Buffet. Where is this at?
It's down by me.
Ellsberg, next to Panera.
Liberatories.
Between Liberatories and Panera.
The shopping center there?
Same thing, okay.
It's actually very good. That buffet is.
I've been hearing that, yeah.
Hot, who come up with that name? Legend Hot Pot and Barbecue.
It used to be called Seafood Legends.
Yeah, the trading as, right?
Right. Yeah, that's the trade name, and then
Well, it's in the Sykesville area down there at Eldersburg, so
So,
they have some,
the crab wonton, the crab wontons were
they have some unique names down there. Okay, any objections?
no.
Good heavens, not again. Not again. These people are on the agenda every week, every month. McDaniel College to host a fieldside tailgate event tent during their Parents and Family Weekend on November the 4th. Where's this gonna be?
Hillside.
And on the track inside the stadium fence.
Track inside the stadium.
With 130 people expected to attend.
They must have a lot of
They got a
wealthy
little-
donors.
They got a little block off on them. Pass it your way.
So Keith, they'll be doing the same type of security.
It's for alumni. It's an alumni event. They'll have campus safety, will be monitoring the area.
Yeah, okay. Well,
Any objections?
no.
No.
I'll tell them not 3 months in a row.
Okay, request from the Coon Club to have a New Year's Eve dance on Sunday, 12/31/23, with permission to serve beer and wine, license at the event.
The Coon Club has a 6-day license. They are not licensed to sell beer on the Sunday. They're asking for a special permission to sell beer for New Year's Eve.
Under their current license, or are they gonna buy a one-day license? I'm only asking,
Either one, if you don't give permission to do it underneath the current license, they're gonna have to get a one-day license.
I personally don't see the need for it.
I agree.
I agree.
You know, it's just,
It's special, doesn't happen that often, every 7 years, or 8 years.
It says if you
Depends on
wanted more
leap
fees,
year.
you
If there's a leap year, there's, you know.
any objections?
No.
Yep.
So ordered. Any other items to be added to the agenda before this august body? How's the sessions going? You have 2 more scheduled?
We have one coming up this Monday, the 23rd, at County Line Cantina, and we have nothing scheduled for November at this time, but we are talking to different places about hosting events.
How'd the one go in Manchester?
That's corner.
We had
Corner.
10 people, 12 people.
15, I think.
Yeah, 15 people. It went well.
Good.
Yes. They're waiting for the finish, they're doing some construction out front of,
Was it just their people?
no, there was some other outside people also.
Were they there from Spargo's across the street?
No. Green Mountain sent some people. Someplace from Mount, Johansson's came, and someplace south, right? Didn't somebody come up from Mount Airy or somewhere?
Yeah, somewhere down there.
Yeah. So,
So you're getting close to 200 people now?
oh, we're probably close to 300.
That's what I had, was 140. Now you're over 300. You
I will
sure
have,
ain't-
I will have an
Are they
answer to you.
government figures or actual figures?
I will have an answer to you before we go out to lunch.
Suppose we don't go to lunch?
And I'll have an answer when you buy me lunch next time.
2 questions. Somebody told me that Baldwin Station, or whatever the name of it is closed.
Sykesville Station,
They
closed.
turn their license in?
No.
They sold, didn't they?
They sold. We don't have a requirement to turn the license in, but they are closed.
I can give you some information on that, Mr. Chairman.
What,
You
before
want to
you
do on
do,
record?
That's all right.
The hours that are posted for establishments, are we not to be notified when they change those hours?
We are notified, yes. But we get notifications. I'm not sure everybody does, but I know we do get some notifications. Joe and I get the emails. We put it in the folder of the business. We don't notify the board.
Understand that, but
Yes.
we're to be notified.
Correct.
Whenever they change hours. We 3 or 4 don't have to be notified, but the office has to be notified.
And it gets filed in the folders.
Okay, and there was another establishment I was gonna ask you about, but
Along those
as I
lines.
say, we're on the
Yeah,
record
I
now, so.
understand. Along those lines, is it a violation of our rules for an establishment to not be open during posted hours to the public?
They can be closed up for up to 10 days without notifying us. After 10 days, they have to notify us. If they don't notify us after 10 days, it's a violation.
So let's say that the owners of a restaurant decide to go on vacation and you just close without any notice to anybody.
Up to 10 days.
Brick Ridge used to do that every year,
Yeah, but,
although they would
Mallet.
usually notify us.
is that what the name was? Brick Ridge, the Mallet?
Brick Ridge is up toward Mount Airy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but the people that used to own the Mallet up there, whatever it was before.
Gary and Dell's.
Yeah, that was
Gary and Dell's.
Gary and Dell's.
What were they,
Gary and Dell's.
Korean? or-
Oh, yeah, and Lou and,
Yeah, they used to
Lou
close.
and Mary's?
Gary and Dell's.
Yeah, but Lou and Mary's was the one in.
Oh, Lou and Mary's the one down 27.
But you know who I mean
Yeah,
up
yeah.
there, yeah. Didn't they used to close for,
Every year.
every year for,
Christmas
2
Eve
months.
to, right before,
to go somewhere
Valentine's
with
Day, they
family?
went
Yeah.
back to Vietnam.
A lot of times, people, they will call us and tell us they're closing, but not everyone does.
As far as Baldwin Station or Sykesville Station, it's closed, it's shuttered. They have not turned in the license. And there's a prospective owner, which is publicly known, but it's not gonna be a done deal until they appear before us. So it's sold but not sold.
Right. It's,
And it's not gonna be a transfer.
But my point is the restaurant, as is now, is closed. I understand they don't have to turn them in like that, but I just want to verify. Somebody told me that they thought Baldwin Station, or whatever it's called,
and that should be our consideration.
closed.
I don't know if we want to, but we could make a rule that, our local rule, turn license in, but how do you enforce if they don't?
I thought it was a rule, but obviously not.
Anything else on the forefront?
There's some things, places coming, but yes, I'll prefer to talk about it off the record.
Anything else to be brought before this body? If not, hearing none, do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn?
Second?
Motion's been made and seconded to adjourn, therefore this meeting is adjourned. We will reconvene on November 8th, 2023 at 10 o'clock here in this room.